And now it's time for the Sponsor Perspective session of the program. Please welcome Della Clark, CEO of the Enterprise Center in Philadelphia, and David Myrie, Head of Consumer and Small Business Banking, Diverse Customer Segments at Wells Fargo. Take it away, David.
It's great to be here today. And Steve, thank you so much for that introduction. I want to jump right in. And Della, it's so great to be here with you and see you once again. Appreciate all the work you and the Enterprise Center have been doing. You know, as you think about where we are here today, the Enterprise Center has helped roughly 8,000 small businesses and helped them to create nearly 2,000 jobs. This is an outstanding example of just how impactful CDFIs can be to small businesses in a community like Philadelphia. CDFIs like the Enterprise Center have been very key in helping small businesses throughout the pandemic. So can you talk a little bit about, Della, why it's so important for organizations like yours to support small businesses across the country?
Well, David, thank you this morning. I'm happy to have this conversation with you. I first want to start out by saying that while we're proud of our numbers and the impact we've had at the Enterprise Center, we still have more work to do. As an example, just here in Philadelphia, we have only about 1,200 businesses that have employees, and we have about 19,000 that do not. And we also represent a small percentage per 1,000 of businesses based on the population of Philadelphia. So as we look at those numbers, while we're proud of our work at the Enterprise Center, we have more work to do. And that's why CDFIs are so important, because they are well positioned to tackle these challenges as it relates to how do you bring all of the resources necessary to help small businesses succeed. CDFIs have been around. They just celebrated last year 25 years of existence. And so as we look to the next 25 years, I think the role is going to be far more important because of the challenges that we're coming out of from this pandemic, the economic downturn. And I am excited that the Enterprise Center is part of the CDFI world, and the role we can play is so important. The challenge that CDFIs have, not only in Philadelphia, but America, is that they need to have more resources in order to help their clients. So they need to bulk up their capacity, they need more dollars. And so this is why I'm excited about some of the leadership that I see coming out of institutions like yours.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Great to hear that, Della. Great to hear that.
So, you ready for a question from me?
I'm ready.
All right. So, working at a very large institution, we want a little inside scoop about how you are thinking about the ecosystem and the role that a large institution like Wells Fargo could play in helping to reframe the ecosystem for small businesses, not only in Philadelphia, but in America.
I appreciate that question very much, Della. You know, Wells Fargo has been deeply dedicated to small businesses and supporting them for years. And that's why when the pandemic occurred, we knew we needed to jump into action immediately. And that's why we created the Open for Business Fund, where we dedicated our $420 million of processing fees to really bring in the support to these small businesses, especially in the diverse small businesses, the micro areas where they need it most. So far, the fund has already helped an estimated 22,800 small businesses and created or helped to maintain more than 66,000 jobs, the majority of which are in diverse-owned businesses. And this Open for Business Fund is based on 3 foundational strategies. As you mentioned, access to capital is a critical issue, especially for people of color and women. And this is why the first strategy, the Open for Business Fund, has been dedicated to collaborate with CDFIs to reach the smallest of small business owners with capital and emergency grants and low-cost loans. The second priority is around technical training. As many small businesses need to really rethink their business model to adjust to changing demands of the pandemic market, we wanted to help to build the capacity of these nonprofits that provide targeted small business assistance such as business planning, financial planning, or management, as well as marketing and advertising. And the third leg is providing longer-term recovery and resiliency resources to really help small businesses in this sector prepare for long-term systemic barriers to growth and be able to accelerate and get past those barriers that they face. This fund is truly designed to be a support system to the incredible work that small businesses and nonprofits have been doing in communities every day. And I'm really excited for this fact right here. I'm going to share with you, Della. As of today, Wells Fargo is announcing over $7 million, roughly $7.5 million in philanthropic capital to bring new small businesses relief here in the Philadelphia area and the state of Pennsylvania, including, Della, get this, a $1.5 million grant to the Enterprise Center.
Yes.
So I can't wait to see how you put and make an impact and put that capital to work in the Philadelphia community with those funds, Della.
Thank you, David. And it is an honor and a significant accomplishment for us to be recognized by Wells Fargo in this initiative, Open for Business. And when we first saw the press release about it, we said, oh, this is big. This is really big. And we were excited to be an awardee of these funds. What's most important for us and how we're planning to use this investment from Wells Fargo is that we've come to recognize, coming out of this pandemic, we need to focus on two things. One is track record of our small businesses, and balance sheet is the second one. And so what we're planning to do is leverage this capital and identify projects where we can help our small businesses build track record with this capital, as well as improve their balance sheet, because we know without a doubt, for them to grow their business in the future, they're going to have to prove their track record, and they're going to have to prove that they have a balance sheet. And their balance sheet proves that they know how to manage their finances. So we're extremely focused on this in 2021, and we're excited about this investment because it will allow us to leverage this capital to do that.
What you talked about here, Della, are critical components and aspects of helping small businesses to grow and thrive in and out of a pandemic, and to help them accelerate as we move forward. So I appreciate those points you brought about here today. We so much appreciate the work that you, the Enterprise Center, and other CDFIs across the country are doing to help support small businesses, especially in these diverse segment areas that need the support the most. So thank you, Della, for joining me here today. And I wish you and the Enterprise Center the best of luck as you continue doing this critical work in the Philadelphia area. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, David, before we go, I want to thank you as well. And I want to thank Wells Fargo, because it is this type of leadership at this moment in time in stepping up to help CDFIs, to help our diverse communities is so important. And it only demonstrates your commitment and willingness to help small businesses, not only in Philadelphia, but in America, succeed. And so I want to thank you and appreciate your leadership as well.
Thank you, Della. Appreciate that very much.
Well, thank you both for that discussion. That's fascinating.